Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. I'm your host, Sybil Amuti, and this week's episode is being brought to you by Doers and Disruptors, the Great Girlfriends conference for every woman who's ready to take her life to the very next level. If that's you, join us June 12th through 14th in New York City and grab your ticket at thegreatgirlfriendsconference.com. Oh, and enjoy this week's episode. You are in for a treat. What's up, great girlfriends? I am so super excited. I have a new guest today. Don't you just love when I bring a fresh voice to the show? And this one is going to blow your mind. I had the privilege of being at Lucinda Cross's Big Ask back in, I want to say it was October of last year. And at the Big Ask, there were two speakers on stage, and I'm sitting there writing notes and listening. And one of them I knew very well, love and adore her. And that is Tiffany Aliche, who has been an amazing guest on the show and speaker at the conference and great girlfriend all around. And the other was a new voice, a new face, but a similar spirit and soul. And I just gathered all her wisdom. And I said in my body, I got to work with her. That's literally what I said. But what came about was this very chance encounter where Lucinda asked, does anyone have a big ask in the room? And I raised my hand and Lucinda's looking at me like, no, you don't. I'm like, yes, I do. So I had to pitch myself and explain how I wanted to take the Great Girlfriend to the next level. And I had some business questions and I had things that I know and the things that I absolutely did not know. And I was looking for someone to mentor me. And I will just fast forward and say this amazing vessel said that she would agree to take me on. And I did like my version of a praise dance right in that moment. And so, great girlfriends, I am so privileged to have Aprille Franks on the line today.
Hey, everybody. Nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
And y'all, let me just say really quickly, because I want to have her on video because she is popping.
I need to be on video today.
She looks so good. She looks so good. And I am looking like somebody's auntie that is like on a grocery store errand run. So I told her, I said, listen, you know, you are video ready today, but I am not.
Listen, but you're the boss. So it's all good. You have that luxury. So it's all good.
But speaking of boss, Aprille, you know, you blew my mind, right? And I told you that. And I keep saying it repeatedly because it's real deal. Great girlfriends know there is something synergetic when you meet someone who is, you know, on another side of a bridge and speaking the language that you want to embody, or you see something in them that matches you and you want to align with it. So there's something there. And I'm not the only one that feels this way. For those of you that are not familiar with Aprille, and I'm sure you're Googling, she is the founder of Domination Nation and a number of other businesses and a number of other entities. And she's also an amazing woman. She's a mom. She's a glamma.
Yes, I am.
She's the cutest little glam baby. And she's a vessel. And Aprille, I call you a vessel because what you do is a funnel flow. You create a funnel flow for women to experience victories in their life. And I feel like most people understand that you sit on one side of victory, right? But then there's opportunities that will elevate you. And if you can apply or appropriate certain principles or success laws or measures and put them in place, you can change your life.
Absolutely, you can.
And I think you, my friend, have proven that is it's your form of ministry. It's life ministry for you because it is a work that requires both personal and professional growth.
Yes.
You take on people not just professionally, but personally, because there is one life that we live.
Yeah.
And I also feel like when I look in Dominate Nation, am I saying the group name right? I want to make sure I say Dominate Nation.
Domination Nation, baby.
Domination Nation. Take the baby off when you're looking in Facebook. But Domination Nation is the name of the group. There are over 20,000 women who agree. And not just women, actually. They're men, but they are people who have found you to be a resource queen and a vessel for their next level of growth. And what powered me, Aprille, is learning your story, girl. Your story was what really made me understand why you have the soul and spirit you have. And I wanted
What
to
did you read? Where did you find this said story?
You were telling your story at the
Oh,
Big Ask, and you were talking about, I don't want to give it away, but you were talking about, things that happened along the way and things that didn't happen. And in spite of all of those things, you have been so blessed and privileged to sit where you sit today. And that is considered to me a force of nature. And I want for every single great girlfriend to grab some pen and paper, because I think what's so important is April's going to share, Aprille, excuse me. Girl, she's going to fire me if I call her
no,
April.
you can. You know what? No, I have a story around that too. So I'm ready. This is good. This is going to be good, great, significant, magnificent. So I'm ready to dive in. So you can call me April. You can call me Aprille. And a month ago I wouldn't have said that, but it's all good.
Well, we want to do it right. We're going to call you Aprille. And I'm asking you this one question, Aprille, and I want you to take us on a journey. And at this point, you'll pick up her bio, you'll pick up all the ahas, and you'll pick up everything that I picked up in meeting her. So there once was a girl named Aprille.
There once was a girl. There is a girl named Aprille Franks and Aprille Franks. Mm-hmm. And, one of the things that I love, first of all, is platforms like this that allow women to authentically share who they are, who they be, how they navigate, what they do brilliant in the world. And so, Sybil, thank you for having me. Thanks to all of the Great Girlfriends family of listeners and supporters. And, I am so grateful to be in this space of growth and authenticity and owning my own ish and all of those things, because, life wasn't always so amazing and so great. Although life was leading me to a more amazing and more greatness, it wasn't always that way. Mm-hmm. I grew up in a very tumultuous household of abuse and alcoholism. And the beauty in all of that is that it's really shaped who I am, and it's helped navigate me into this masterful business coach that I am today. And my cause is really helping women navigate these entrepreneurial waters, I call them the cyber streets,
right.
And building their own communities. That's who I am. If you want to build a tribe of your own, you want to monetize your brilliance, and you want to make an impact and leave a lasting financial legacy for your family, then I'm your girl. So the story is broad, and so I don't even know where you want me to start. Because there's a lot that I can impart and a lot that I can share.
Well, when she was small, what did she believe in? What did she want?
Truthfully, when I was a little girl, I wanted to be independent. When I was a little girl, I wanted to skip being a little girl because things were really crazy in my household. When I was a little girl, I saw women get beat, and I saw their voices be muffled by the men in our family. So when I was a little girl, I had the luxury of lots of things. I had the luxury of living abroad. I had the luxury of learning new cultures because I started school in Berlin, Germany. I had the luxury of also seeing what I didn't want in life, by, like I said, watching the abuse. And so there was and I call it a luxury because it really helped shape me. And so, yeah, when I was a little girl, there was a lot going on. Mm-hmm. When I was a little girl, I was given up for adoption by my biological mother, who I appreciate for her choice. And when I was a little girl, I learned that women do have power, and we do have the ability to be confident. And the biggest lesson that I learned as a little girl is that women need to be in a position in their life where they can create options for themselves, to be a contribution to themselves, to their household, to their communities, because I truly believe that we are the most influential being on the planet. Mm-hmm. And that's what I learned.
Oh my goodness. What did you love back then?
I love people. I loved traveling. I loved experiencing new things. And I'm very much the same now. I love to travel. I love going to different cultures and different countries and all of that. And I loved the family unit, as dysfunctional as it was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I loved being able to connect. I love being different. You know, I love being this skin tone in my family, you know, and embracing exactly who I am, you know, and yeah.
So when you say the skin tone in your family, I'm gathering that your adopted family is of a different race.
My adopted family is Black, and
Okay.
everyone was darker than me. And so one of the things that I learned, and I always wondered before I knew I was adopted, was why was I this color? I was like, well, why didn't I get to bake longer? Because of course that's what parents tell their kids.
Yes.
Well, you was in the oven longer, and you wasn't, you know, and that's kind of how back then, you know, parents explain, you know, our skin tone. And I embraced who I was because I was different. It wasn't that it was great, because I was ostracized for being light skinned in my family. And because my whole family is dark skinned. And so I was ostracized, but I still embraced it. I didn't know why it was, but I still embraced the fact that this is just who I am. And so quite in today's world, you know, people, you know, will say that it's very much flipped, but in my family, it wasn't. I was ostracized, you know, for being of a lighter skin tone,
right?
That I can't control. I don't know where it came from. I still don't know who my biological daddy is. So I don't know what's in my blood.
Yeah.
You know, so I had to embrace me and accept me for who I was, even though I didn't have all the pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So at that time, who was your biggest cheerleader?
You know, that's really interesting. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I would have to say maybe my grandfather on my dad's side. I'm sorry, on my mother's side. I would have to say maybe him. But I don't really remember a lot of that, of cheering. There wasn't, you know, there's this passivity, this passive support, this passive nurturing that happens, I think, a lot in families, meaning it's not really that you're being nurtured. It's not really that you're being supported. It's just that you're not being oppressed.
Yes. Yes. That is so true. It's not intentional. It's not like we do today where we're trying to affirm kids and root them. Yeah. It's none of that.
It's not that it was like a resounding, this is happening. It's like, no, just, you know, go about your day. I'm not going to, you know, tell you can be all you can be. You know, we just not going to tell you that you can't.
Yeah. Yes. Because I think part of them they were scared that if we failed, it would be on them that we failed. Right? Is that part of what that you think that is, when they don't really say soar, but they don't tell you not to get in the plane at the same time? It's just like they don't want to be responsible for you going too far off the ledge.
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up just our ancestral culture of passing on, you know, certain dynamics and things that are kind of ingrained in our culture and our bloodlines and our habits and what we pass on. And I think that our parents did the best they could.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, the best they could often doesn't feel good enough. And we just have to pick up the pieces as adults and take responsibility for our own lives.
Yeah. So when you talk about picking up the pieces, because you mentioned pieces, and I was like, okay, wait, how was she able to leap through? And maybe it wasn't a leap, maybe you were sliding through, maybe you were, you know, gliding, I don't know, trucking through, but there's that awkward teenage phase where we all just want to graduate, get out of the house, go to college or whatever, but get that independence that you always knew you wanted as a kid. And I think your road was a pinch different than what you even imagined that it probably would have been. But I wanted you to kind of share those pieces because that was so valuable to me.
Well, thank you for bringing that up in regards to those pieces. I always wanted to be out on my own. And I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know, but I was a pretty smart kid. I didn't like school. I felt awkward. I didn't feel pretty. I had low self-esteem. I was insecure.
Mm-hmm.
It's so crazy. I'm like, what? I didn't think I
Right.
was cute, girl.
You missed out.
But I did. I was the girl, if you can just remember right now, for those of you listening, if you remember whoever was in your school that you saw that always walked with their head down, that was me.
Mm-hmm.
I never held my head high.
Mm-hmm.
I always intentionally held my head down walking through the halls because I didn't want anyone to see me. And so some of those challenges during those teenage years, I was molested by a neighbor. I was raped. I had a daughter. I dropped out of high school. I moved out on my own. I had my own apartment. I got a full-time job. There was a barrage of things that happened in my life in those teenage years from 10 to 19, or from 12 to 19, that really formed me as a young woman. And it wasn't always good. I was very promiscuous, looking for love in all the wrong places. But the thing about all of that is, through all of that, I always knew that I was destined to do amazing things. I always believed that I was a leader. So even when I was at my worst and I wanted to die, and I, was in the middle of, a horrible fight with my father, and I ended up in the emergency room with charcoal being pumped in my stomach because I took a bunch of pills. I still knew that I was destined to do great things. I just had to hold on long enough to see it.
Wow. Oh my goodness, that's powerful. Because when, most of us think through life and we can't imagine one trip up, right? Any misstep and people consider it the end. But somehow you press through, and not only did you press through saying, I just want to make it, you always saw yourself as a leader. So you understood that even though you didn't feel as fabulous as you are and you couldn't see what's in there, you knew it was deeply planted in there. And I want to know how you were able to hold on to that, because you have fully manifested the giant that was on the inside. How are you able to hold? Come on, body roll. Come on. Yes. But how were you able to hold on to that leader, that giant, and manifest and bring her to life?
How was I? Faith.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a religious person. I'm highly spiritual. And I am probably one of 5 people that that has unwavering faith. I absolutely, unequivocally believe that I can do any effing thing.
Wow.
I really do. I really do. I'm like, we gonna do that? Okay. I don't know how we gonna do it, but get on Google, phone a friend. Let's figure it out. Let's make it happen. I just believed. And that's a part of it. Ask and it is given.
Right.
But you got to believe.
That's where people struggle.
Absolutely. And so
people can't even ask the question, Aprille. They're like, like you can't even stutter through the question to get out your ask, which shows evidence of a lack of belief, and you won't fully receive that thing that you believe you qualify for.
Absolutely.
So,
and
okay.
The truth is, and just real quick, the truth is people have what they believe.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
That's something you have to own. You got to look right now. You got to look around, whether you're sitting in your car listening, you're sitting at your desk at work, maybe you're an entrepreneur, you're sitting in your office, maybe you're wherever you are, you may be doing laundry. You got to look around. You manifested that. You got exactly what you believe you can have. And you got to own it. And if you don't like it, if you don't like that car, you don't like that neighborhood, you don't like that husband, you don't like that wife, I ain't discriminating. You don't like the school your kids go to, you don't like it. You chose all this. And the beautiful thing about life, Sybil, is that you can unchoose it.
That's so true. That's so true. I'm constantly telling the great girlfriends, they know, as long as you know you have a choice in the matter, you'll be okay. It's when you think you're without choice is that you start feeling things that get scarce and you feel reckless and you lose hope. But as long as you can hold on to the idea that you have a choice in the matter, you can adjust and manipulate time and life to do things in your favor. You really can. Absolutely. So how did you pick up and start making different choices? Because I hear that those teen years were like rugged in terms of you were on your own, but it was a tough spot. And
Yeah,
emotionally, I know there was turmoil there.
absolutely.
But I also know that you're a person who believes in the power of your choice. And something in you picked up because I'm telling you, it's like two different seats. And I understand so much about your resilience because I know when you go through things that you've been through, that I've been through, that other women have been through, your strength is unmatched. Like nobody can really touch you in certain areas because you're like, I've already conquered that. So there was a pickup that happened for you.
Yeah, I almost died dating the drug dealer in a shootout.
What?
And I was 20 years old. I was living in Mobile, Alabama. I was dating a guy. I'll call him RJ.
Okay.
And he was a drug dealer. That's not how I was raised, right? My father was a military man. We followed the rules. We didn't live in the projects. No offense if you did. My whole family still lives there, basically. So I grew up well. I grew up cultured and traveling and going to Paris and taking the train to Yugoslavia to shop for crystals. And that was my life. And making the bed up the right way and folding the corners and, all of that. And we didn't have a lot of money, but the military did afford us a lifestyle because they do take care of their own. And so in that, I'm saying that to say I had a choice and I saw a dude and he was cute. And I didn't know what he did for a living. And once I found out, I didn't run the other way. I embraced what he did. And there was an altercation that happened one evening. It was on Valentine's Day, 1997. And I ended up having to shoot myself out of my apartment complex. And we both did. And we could have died. And we could have killed people. And thank God we didn't. And that we're all here to tell the story. And that situation, mind you, I was pregnant too, by the way.
Oh my God.
And that situation, I moved from Alabama. I moved to Dallas, Texas with an aunt. And I said, this isn't my life. I told them this isn't my life and this is not how I want to live. And you're great. And all the stuff that come with you is great. But I'm going to die if I stay in this lifestyle. And so I left. And that was the pivot for me.
Wow. So Dallas sort of gave you the opportunity to wake up, start fresh, do fresh.
It was amazing. It was one of the best experiences of my whole life living there. Yeah, I grew up in Dallas. I learned about me. It's where I really started this whole entrepreneurial spirit was kind of born. I was connecting with movers and shakers. The internet was new. We were still using the AOL disk to dial in to get connected to the World Wide Web.
Yes.
And it was just a beautiful time. And I fell in love there. I got my heart broken there. I made good money there. I went broke there. It was all the things. And it was all there.
So what did you learn in that period that kind of catapulted you? I still hear that independence and that entrepreneurial spirit kind of came alive there and became more vivid. And how did it kind of pull you into this next stage of your journey?
Dallas it showed me how big the world really was and how there were so many possibilities regardless of where I came from and what I looked like. And people love to say, do you believe that you haven't had any opportunities because you're a Black woman or this or that? And I'm going to be honest. No, I don't. I don't believe that because I'm Black, I've lost not one. And I'm going to say it like I would say it if I was in Alabama. Now one.
Yes.
Opportunity. I really don't. I have done everything I've wanted to do. And I continue to do so. And that is without a college degree, high school dropout at the age of 17, and I don't have a GED. I'm sitting here right now. I am in the top 1% of income earners in the country, and I do not have a GED. So when people tell me that they can't do things because of this or they can't do things because of that, I'm just really not interested in the story because I got the whole trauma story for you.
Yes.
I got it.
Check.
Yeah. Talk about all of it. And I think it's what we decide. It's what we decide to believe about ourselves and how we allow these things to either empower us or disempower us. And because I watch women become disempowered, disempowerment is not a part of my life. It's just not. So I can't, so because of that, so understand my context, understand where I'm coming from. I can't then give power to any external entity of why Aprille can't do what the hell Aprille wants to do with her life.
Oh my goodness. But that's so big because our great girlfriends, so many of them have passed the power over, and they've given such a large part of their story to whomever possesses the power, the ex boss, the mama, the daddy, the neighborhood, the degree they didn't get, the degree they did get, the choice they should have made different. And all of those other external forces are controlling the narrative and keeping them from moving into the next stage or moving into domination.
Yeah.
Because you're in a point of domination. I bet if you sat down the top 1% of earners in the US and they all looked around, they'd point and go, so what is it? So what is it that you do? So tell me, how did you get here? So what are some of the things that you're passionate about? They'd be so curious because statistically speaking, you wouldn't make the 1%, that 1%. You wouldn't be there statistically, but having choice and believing that you possess the power of your narrative and taking ownership of it has given you a position of authority in your life that no one can take from you.
No one.
I have such a great respect for that.
And thank you. I appreciate that. And you know what, too? Here's the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is I cannot have anyone else control my history. I can't have anyone tell my story. I can't have anyone, which is why I wrote my memoir in 2011. I can't let anyone be in charge of no one is responsible for my F-ups or my successes. It's me. It's all me.
Yeah.
And I got to own that. I can't blame my mom and my daddy. Yeah, things was jacked up growing up a little bit, sometimes a lot, but I can't blame them. I am a grown woman. And I have the power of choice. There's therapy. You got church. You got mediums. Whatever you need.
That's right.
Whatever you need.
Yeah.
You can get some help.
Yeah.
And it's our responsibility to heal, to be whole, to be honest with ourselves, so we can go out and do amazing things. Because here's the truth, ladies, you're gonna die one day.
That's right.
I'm going to be gone, and I don't want to wither away my life. I've seen that in family members dying without nothing, dying with no legacy, except they was a hellraiser or this or that. That's not noble. That's not what I want for me. I want them to be talking about me in school. I want entrepreneurs to be saying, man, yeah, I want somebody to cry at my funeral being streamed on national television like I cried when Whitney Houston died.
That's right. Yeah.
And you can't make that type of mark if you're muffled, if you're silent, if you're afraid, if you're beating yourself up, if you are shifting blame to everybody else. Because the truth is, you invited all that into your life. And it's interesting. I was someplace the other day, and I was at Office Depot, and I walked up to the guy, and I had my paper or whatever I was buying, and I said, "How you doing today?" And he said, "Oh, you know what? If I'm honest, not that great." I said, "Thanks for being honest." I said, "Why don't you feel that great?" He was like, "I just hate this job." I said, "Well, you chose the job."
Come on.
I said, "They didn't come drag you out of bed. You saw an ad. You applied. When they called you for the interview, you said yes. Not only did you say yes, but the morning of the interview, before the morning of the interview, you told your friends, you told your mom, your dad, and your brother that you had an interview, that you was glad you was going to have a new job, and that you had an interview that day. You may have had to borrow a tie. You got up, you got in your car, or you got in the bus, and you rode to the interview. You was on time. You interviewed well. They chose you. When they sent you the offer letter, you still said yes again. And then on the first day of work, you showed up. You chose them.
Exactly.
And people want to complain about no, you chose all of that. You chose that man. He didn't come and snatch you up out of your mama's house.
That's real.
You chose that job. You chose this vision. You chose all of it. And I think we just got to own the ish so we can get on with it.
That's what we might need to change this episode name to, Own the Ish. We might need to go there. But seriously, because I want to get into it's not even the most powerful part, because all of that is the infrastructure that helped to build the framework for the woman, right? Because the woman is not built off of soft pillows and cozy blankets and cashmere all the time. There's a lot of scrub and abrasive texture to our stories, but that stuff is supposed to build up the archetype of woman that we are. Yeah. And as a teacher, because you've now built this structure, this system, Domination Nation, that sits as such a powerful education tool for entrepreneurs. And I want my great girlfriend community to dive into more about Domination Nation, but understanding this is how she teaches and this is how she coaches. And this is the level of expectation that you're met with when you're a part of Domination Nation, excuse me. So if you don't mind, just give us some of the tidbits of what catapulted you into developing it and what the system is about that people can join into.
Yeah. So Domination Nation, I came up with that because I really want, it's kind of like the vision when everyone, whether you love Beyonce or you don't love Beyonce, that's not the point. You can't argue with her work ethic. But when I saw the video, Women Run the World.
Yeah.
Just that feeling, like no matter what, you just feel like, yes. I can do this. And it's so empowering. And so I was like, I think people are so used to being mediocre and not calling it that, right? But I think people are used to being mediocre, and I am challenging you to dominate your space. I'm challenging you to be the absolute best you can. I'm challenging you. I was just working with a client before this interview, and the client said, well, I don't know how to do it. I said, that's BS. I said, I refuse to believe that you don't know how to do this because I know you know how to do this. The people around us are good for allowing us to fail. They're there for the cushy, for the soft, for the I love yous, for the I accept you no matter what. This relationship, ladies, has conditions. This is not your unconditional relationship. This relationship between you and I, between the nation and you, the nation is requiring you to step up, to follow through with what you want, to build your community so people can know that you exist, to sell your products so that they can be transformed through them, so that you can be financially abundant. It all goes together. And so that's the expectation. We got expectations here. There is no unconditional love in the nation.
I love it. I love it. And I mean, I think the lifting of voices is so powerful too, because people across different industries and sectors are able to support one another and amplify their voices and continue to empower one another, like you said, and challenge. Because I see the commentary, a lot of it is challenging people to say, what is your next? If you feel you're stumped, what's the decision? What's the choice you need to make to adjust? What is the directional shift that you can make in this moment to put you in the right direction? So I feel like it's a push. Like there's a whole 20,000+ people pushing you to that place that you're destined to be in, which is what we all need, right? Because what you said is so powerful. Our legacies are no good if they die in the casket with us. They're no good if we never fulfill the things that matter most. They're no good if our kids and grandkids can't eat off of it. If people are still struggling. For me, my legacy is no good if people in my neighborhood still have poverty. For Martin Luther King, it's no good if we don't serve one another with humanity. So what is it that your legacy is intended to do for the world, Aprille? I feel like I know, but I want to hear you say what that huge legacy is for you.
You know, I don't know if I have that in a succinct sentence. I think what I want people to do, I want other women to have made shifts and changes. And I want this generationally to be impactful, that women are strong and able, and we're feminine, and we have some masculine too, and we are influential, and that we can make shifts and changes and amazing contributions to the good of the world. You know, and I want to be a catalyst for that. I want to be the person that pushed you off that ledge into your own destiny, into your own amazing journey of duplicating this process. And so that's what it's about, you know, because I'm only a success. Listen, I'm not a leader if ain't nobody following.
That's true.
So I really want the people that are learning from me to really understand that, and to recognize also the leadership in them, and that all of us have such an amazing opportunity to step up, whether it is, and this isn't about entrepreneurship. Now, my brand is Domination Nation is, but the whole vision of me and as a woman is that we are empowered in whatever it is that we're doing, and that we understand that we have something valuable to add and to contribute to every conversation.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so you've got a huge event coming up in April.
Yes.
You want to get some bodies in there, so let's talk about it.
Yes, we need more beautiful hearts and women, and Epicon. So Epic, my online moniker is Epic Aprille, and that came from the brand mother, Jay Stone. She calls me Epic. She says that I don't do anything basic. And so we're going to be at the Palms Resort and Casino, which is such a big deal, ladies. Do you even understand what it's like to walk in Vegas, where it is the conference capital of the world, and be able to negotiate and get what you want, and being me, and somebody that is female and that looks like me, and be able to get the job done. So that's exciting. But this conference is for women who are speakers, experts, authors, influencers, who want to build uncompromising communities, who really want to understand what undeniable credibility looks like, so you are the authority in your field, and who want to write their own paycheck by creating possibilities and profitabilities through unlimited profitability, right? And that's really important to us, is that. But more importantly, in addition to the tracks and each day being divided into learning about community and launching and all these different things, and from all the speakers and in myself, is that this is a sisterhood. So much so that we created Sybil, I don't know if you saw a rap. I had a rap song created.
Oh my God, no.
Oh yeah, we just dropped the rap song.
I love it.
We're creating our own tribe. So we've adopted some Greek letters. We've had a new logo made. So nobody is going to be left out. So if you didn't graduate from college, if you didn't finish high school, you can sit with us. Yes. If you did, you can sit with us.
Yes.
If you're Black, you can sit with us. If you Asian, you can sit with us. If you Hispanic, you can sit with us. If you white, you can sit with us.
Yes.
Because it's really about the collective movement of women doing business and really getting your ish together. This is not about us playing around and being cute online. Although we can be cute, I want you to be profitable first.
That's
and
right.
So that's what Epicon is about. And it's happening April 30th through May 2nd, with the option to upgrade to a jet setter opportunity, because we're renting a private jet and we're having a trip for some of our jet setters. And
come on, fancy.
It's going to be pretty dope.
I love it. Okay, where can they find you online, and where can they grab the tickets to EpicCon?
Yes, so you can grab the tickets to EpicCon by going to epicinvegas.com, and that's epicinvegas.com. You can find me online anywhere, but mostly I'm playing around every single day in my Facebook group, Domination Nation. Just search for it and answer the questions, and we will be happy to let you in.
I am so grateful that we had this episode. And it's so important because great girlfriends, I love you with my heart and soul. I get all these emails about but because, if, and the reasons why. And if you sit with an excuse long enough and you rehearse it enough, you justify every shortcoming, right? And it makes it true and real to you. And so the goal of these conversations is to get into your head and to break that pattern of rehearsing those negative thoughts and those infractions repeatedly, so you can have opportunities like this. Because when you get to EpicCon, I want to see you playing full out, like fully vested in the experience, coming with bright ideas, looking to be a contributor to the environment, and learning from Aprille and every other expert that will be in the building. And being a part of Domination Nation is going to help strengthen and kind of power your muscle, because you need muscle out in these entrepreneurial streets.
Yes.
Well, Aprille, I cannot thank you enough for being a part of this episode. And great girlfriends, I am having her back, so don't miss out. She's going to be back. There's a new book coming out. There's some other opportunities. She's got a one-woman show. Like, it doesn't stop here. It just keeps expanding. and growing and blooming. So we gonna bloom with you, Aprille. We're going all the way.
Thank you so much for everyone. And thank you for having me. I'm really grateful.
I'm so glad you were on. Thank you.
We could not end this podcast without thanking our amazing husbands.
Yes, thank you, Kwaku.
And thank you so much, Rich Daniel.
And our beautiful children. Thank you, Sam and Dylan.
And thank you, Miss Sky Daniel.
And thank you to all of you great girlfriends for trusting us as your go-to source for everything life, love, and laughter.
You can check us out on our social, on Instagram,
The Great Girlfriends,
on Twitter,
_Great GFS,
and on Facebook,
The Great Girlfriends.
And please make sure that you join our Facebook group, which is over 16,000 women strong.
Absolutely. And make sure you listen every single Wednesday on iTunes, Spotify, Podcast Bean, Podcast Republic, Google Play, and every other podcasting service.
Absolutely.
Be sure to post your questions, share with your friends, keep listening, and keep being a great girlfriend. I'm Sybil.
And I'm Brandon.
And we're signing off.
Peace.
Peace.